Okay, we back. It's the next day. It's really 2 days because it's midnight the next day. I made the mistake I used to make all the time when I was streaming. Hopefully back. It's like stream watch now. It's X amount of days since I streamed last. I went over to the bounty broker, by the way, while I was calling it a night. I've super deep cleaned all my stuff before I get on here too, and I've even oiled it, so it's probably, my hands are going to be all gunked up, but I don't care. It makes things run a little better. Keeps it nice. I can't afford to replace it. I know that much. We can do the Grease Monkeys quest. I went too long yesterday. 10 hours, something like that. Too long. I didn't wake up until like 2 in the freaking afternoon. Because I ended up still needing to clean up and everything else after I was done last night at 3. Didn't get to bed till like 6. So a bit of a wasted day. Also not, because I mean I'm recording and I got some shit done. But means I didn't get to record all day. But I think it's going to be a weird work week. I'm going to talk to my boss tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow. Technically today, but you know. I need to talk to my boss about changing the work schedule up. So I'm just having a tough time wanting to do much of anything after I get off work. And it's a problem because I should be streaming after work, but it's physical labor and I'm just so done afterwards that. So I've just been between a rock and a hard place. And I look at really other successful streamers and yeah, comparing yourself to others, that's always a mistake. So anyways,
how's it going?
I maybe help the audio along too, which would be a much, oh, there we go. Slow cooker, baby. Let's go. Especially since this has become such a long-term community. There we go. Quality shots there. I'm kind of worried about the tracer rounds they're adding, to be fully honest. I'm worried that it's going to have an effect on the performance. A negative effect on the performance. I just believe in every once in a while. I've talked about this before in another State of Decay playthrough. It's coming back to my mind now. But
let's trade, okay?
Every once in a while, putting a little bit of 3-in-1 oil, some DW40, another sign I guess I'm getting old. You put that shit on everything once you get to a certain age because you just think that everything should be oiled and greased and it basically keeps it running.
Trade, okay?
I'm gonna tell you, I think there's some truth to that though. Okay? But it always acts a little weird afterwards. But especially, I use the Sony nav controller pretty often when I'm using a Zim. I always use if I'm using my Zim, I always use a Sony nav, and they don't make Sony navs anymore. I don't always use my Zim, but when I do, I don't always drink the Sakis, but when I do. Or Dos Sekis? How the hell do you pronounce it? Grease Monkeys is going to be mission 1. Getting a gardener is the first priority of our, that'll be our priority for this episode. I need to get the mission list up too, and I want to start looting. There's a couple things we didn't wrap up last night, was kind of cleaning the map up and getting some more loot to the base. If maybe sorta, I don't know, change base just to change it and check out some other bases. I'm pretty satisfied with this base, but I guess for the sake of the homecoming playthrough, the fact that we're checking out this map for the first time and going through the story, might be worth changing up the map. So, how it starts. The frog and the throat starts. I even warmed up my voice and immediately put a Ricola. And it's something to do with my settings. I guarantee it's something to do with my settings somewhere. And I wish I knew what it was. But I don't, so. My plan to fix that is just outrageously expensive. So it's just not going to happen anytime soon. And it's basically redoing my entire audio setup virtually. Everything but, hey, a gnome. Just now noticed that. Some people believe gnomes have souls. New preamp, new compressor, a new shotgun mic, but a really good preamp. And that shit, especially with the pandemic, it wasn't cheap before, and now it's just, yeah, out of reach. Oh, this is new. Oh, Sasquatch. But it said mysterious voice. Why? Why did it do that? Sorry, I'm still trying to change the audio a little bit. So, talked to my boss about maybe getting my work schedule changed so it's easier to get back to streaming. I definitely have some wanderlust and some nostalgia for the old days. Fallout New Vegas that never got done, but I still someday will do. I wanted to be able to say I streamed at least half this year with everything that went down. If I can get back within the next couple of weeks, I'll at least be able to say, she went out to scout, but she's been out too long. Can you help us find her? Sure.
I'll take care of this.
I want to be able to say I did 5 months. I also made a mistake and told my mom I would help her with some stuff. But that is going to help potentially open the door for changing the work schedule up a little bit. I'll loot later. That's a different goal. Getting a gardener is goal for this episode. But it opens the door too for me to tell my boss, like, hey, yeah, she needs help. I got to change things up. And because the streaming thing, I just don't know that he got upset at me when I mentioned it before, you know. But you don't know because you weren't there. But it was like kind of a guilt thing. Wow, that feral is relentless, which makes sense. The feral. Sometimes, dude, the fire just does a number on him, and other times the fire does nothing.
I can't keep this up.
Just spam the dodge. Wow, she's really sucking in the breath right now. She sounds like she has fibromyalgia or something. I got rid of a bunch of survivors last night too, so I can keep more people from this community just in case. So I know I wanted to keep Whiskey, Oz, Grace. Kimberly is not really special, but she's becoming special. Uh-oh. So I think that updates the streaming thing, the 3-in-1 oil thing I talked about. So if you see anything weird with the controller, you'll know what's going on there. Some goals for tonight, even though it's midnight.
I have to slow down.
I promised myself I'd record at least a couple. I've got 2 videos right now in the cooker, which is the Apex capstone that really needs to get done. Look at that booty. Oh, that's swiggity swooty. No booty left. Those are just legs. Oh, pumped about the slow cooker though. I need to, speaking of that, on the next episode, before I start filming again, I'll get the mission list up so we can keep track of where we're at on that. I know there's some missions left, because I didn't pop the achievement for the Wilkersons, and I think there's still a lot of Marshall stories, which actually brings up a more interesting topic, something a little more on point. But before I get to that, I guess I want to also think, if I was still in the stream flow, you know, I would just... It's midnight, screw it, let's stream. But I also know that doesn't work. And the most truthful thing to say about streaming right now that I haven't posted on Twitter or Discord, but I need to, is I'm just kind of back when I'm back. I have no intentions of quitting. I 100% plan on being back and continuing. But with work and life right now, I've just not been in a position to make it work. The way that I want to make it work, the way that at once upon a time I did make it work. Now let's get back to State of Decay, because that's the most honest I can give you. Is I'm not quitting. I have no intention to quit. I miss it. I miss the community. You know, I miss everything about that stuff, and I know I will 100% feel so much better when I do get back to it. But as kind of a private person and a different point in my life now, I think the streaming journey after 5 years and where I'm at right now, it sort of reflects that. But there is 100% the intent to get back to it, and I have to do it. So my grandma's 87. Jesus, this whole thing can't last too much longer, can it? So I've got to do better.
Hey, are you there?
The Marshall stories. They are setting up for State of Decay 3 to be.
I better keep looking elsewhere.
We're taking back this planet, yo. The Haven device.
Wish I had room for that.
The super grow from the plague walls. Have they more or less basically revealed that plague walls were nowhere but Trumbull? Which I kind of wanted, what I saw in my mind and what I hoped they were going to do was,
It may just be my good mood,
yeah, it's
but
expanding.
the sun's
It's getting worse. This is becoming the freaking day 99 run. I did not think this community would go this many days. I thought it would get worse. You know, zombie deer was an indicator, but not only that, Heartland was an indicator.
I'm over here.
We can actually recruit her.
Give me your attention a sec.
Back with you. They don't care if I live or I die. If you come back with me, I will talk some sense into them. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm done talking. I just can't handle people anymore.
Oh, hon. That's awful. Bye. Stay safe.
Guess I should have helped her leave town. I mean, it's cool that she was recruitable and I would normally take her, but we leaned our whole group out yesterday just to make room for a gardener, so it's just not a good time for that. We should go check out the, since we were able to clear out Marshall, we should go check out the Snyder trucking warehouse. We'll clean up some missions for now, though. So yeah, I thought with the plague walls and with the zombie deer and the State of Decay 3 trailer, we basically were at a point where it was just going to be like, yeah, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And State of Decay 3 is just going to be the hardest State of Decay because everything's basically now gone. It's going to be about society rebuilding, of course, and you're going to be deeper into that whole thing. But the fact that the whole plague is changing, it's kind of reaching a... You're reaching the precipice between, is humanity going to find extinction or is it going to find a way to wipe out the virus altogether? But there's a lot, but I'm not sure she's coming back. You really need to treat her with more respect.
That's horrible. Maybe I was too harsh. This project will be a lot harder short-handed.
The only thing he ever says is, let's send the newbie. Let's send the newbie out.
Let's see what we have here.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not sure how that turned into she gone. But I think you're just going to be taking back the world, and that, because 100% they give you this stuff in Heartland, in Homecoming rather, to just rebuild society already. The Haven device and the super crop grow, like you're already clearly flirting with it. And then it sort of reminds me of Swan Song, how in the latter half of Swan Song before that, if for those of you that have read that book, it's a really good book. Post-apocalyptic book about a total nuclear annihilation, and basically it has a lot of Christian stuff in it too, because the Antichrist is around. The Antichrist ends up leading an evil army, and it's sort of, you know, it's like Revelations. It's like sci-fi Revelations. Anyway, I'm getting to it. In Swan Song, there's like this portion of the book about halfway through before you get to like the really things get really bad again, where like there's one group that's cannibals, really similar to actually Lucifer's Hammer. I never thought about that before. Lucifer's Hammer, excellent sci-fi novel. Good way to just digest that is go watch Deep Impact, which is a great movie about a comet hitting the Earth. Really well made movie. Man, Norma got delivered to the base. Oh yeah, because we turned in those bounties yesterday. Let's go check that thing out. Oh wait, first we gotta do this.
I'm on my way to you.
About halfway through, the people who have like managed to survive up to this point, they it's always so dark on that Magewell screen. Skybox looks so much better on the Magewell though. Like you guys get actually a better image, but it's a lot darker. Whoops, not watching the screen. They've rebuilt their like civilization a little bit. They've adapted. They're back. They've come through, and they're not. Nothing's perfect, you know, by far. But there's sort of a new normal, kind of like where we are with COVID right now. There's almost a new normal. We're approaching a new normal, but it is not the normal we once knew. It is. Ooh, that looks good. That looks real good. Hell yeah, we're gonna take this baby out for a spin. You know that. That golden black looks good. But this thing's a fucking fuel hog though. And we've already wrecked it. That's where I see State of Decay 3 going, but I wonder how they're going to implement that, in the sense that they can't get rid of base building, because that's half of what people like about State of Decay is bases. Bases and community management. And the other half is actually playing the game, being the survivors. But are they going to do multiple bases? And see, I think they're flirting with a mechanic that I want to see. And that mechanic is more of a raid incursion style gameplay loop for the end game or latter half, where they've already got like the play card. You kind of got to get ready and you got to go assault them. And then in Homecoming, they had like basically a proper siege. I mean, Homecoming's no joke. You got to go get those plague busters put together and you got to go raid those walls. And then putting a plague wall style, really dense, nasty plague territory, and you've got to get in there and you've got to clear it out in order to get to the really, really good loot. They're already kind of they're giving us big hints. I really believe that. If you're staying up with State of Decay 2, I think they're giving us huge hints of State of Decay 3 and how it's going to play, because I think whatever is getting kind of conceptualized and stated for State of Decay 3 is getting put into State of Decay 2 updates. Like, they're testing it in a way. I really hope they're doing that, because so few studios do that. I talked about Infinite yesterday. Like, how do you do Halo 4 through the Master Chief Collection and have the same basic thing exist from Halo? Oh, fuck, they needed food. We had all that food. I didn't even drop the shit off. I was just talking. Whatever, we'll just agree to it and have to do this drive twice.
Good answer.
Good answer. These guys are needy as hell. But whatever, they provide medical advice, and that's really good. So I'll accept it. A lot of studios seem to be so large or too compartmentalized that they don't see what the other side is doing. When State of Decay 2 first came out, it was like that. There were things that it had done in the first one that you wondered, like, how did that not get into the second game? And the same thing with, I mean, big time Destiny 2. There were things Destiny 1 did from Taken King onward that made Destiny, actually made it into a really solid title. And when Destiny 2 came out, that stuff wasn't there. They had heavily toned down the RPG features. All the heavy monetization was back. It was super lean, bare bones. And portable generator, we can do both those. Hey, it's one of those generator missions. It would be really cool to have it where, especially since Undead Labs is still a smaller studio. I know they've grown by leaps and bounds, but with the Microsoft acquisition, still. You wonder if for once you have a studio that isn't so compartmentalized that the communication is there, and you got the State of Decay 3 team talking and saying, hey, look, this is what we're up to, and then the live team for State of Decay 2 saying, okay, that makes sense, and this is what we've also got on our end from the data and the player feedback, which I give State of Decay a lot of credit in that it goes more off of player feedback than data. Thank God. Way too many studios blindly trust the data. Which, oh, hold on.
I got it, Lily. Everything is under control.
Okay, sure. Just checking. Making sure you didn't forget.
I mean, shit. Screw the front door. You gotta lock that place down. There's some scary shit out there.
Hey, you staying out of trouble?
Lily worries about him. Hey, you. So, I hope they're communicating. And they're not just blindly following the data. And that some of the stuff that we're seeing with Plague Territory is an indication of where we're heading, especially since now you can make it thin or thick, like you can cut into the horde. I'm going to be interested in how that works and if it does even work. But hopefully that's moving more towards zombies are not like they got rid of the zombies randomly popping up in houses. For the most part, it's gone. And of course, it's a boring game if there's just no zombies around ever. But you want it to make sense. You know, it's... We're so lucky, speaking of that, about a year ago, they improved the hitboxes on those bloaters, and it's more accurate, I'll tell you that. Sometimes you still get some BS hits every now and again, but boy, the game first came out, that would have been gone. So it's maybe we'll go to that base first, just to start checking out some new ones. We'll get a gardener first. And the train of thought's gone, but oh no, the zombies. Talk about this all the time because it's true. When I go to Marshall, like, that place should be just, my god, a nightmare. And to begin with, it kind of was. But it should also contain some of the best loot. I don't like driving in the middle of a lake and just the population of China just hanging out for some reason. Or driving down a road. Like, yeah, they should be hanging around in the woods and be attracted to your sound and coming. Like, even State of Decay 1 did a great job of that. When you'd be driving, you'd, like, start seeing them come out and creep around. It's like, hear your vehicle, and they're attracted to the noise. And sometimes in State of Decay 2 and State of Decay 1, I get this often. They're like, they hear the noise, and they hear other zombies, and they start nosing around.
Thanks. Take care of yourself.
Looking for you. They know something's around, and it starts to set up where, like, if you're not looting and you're not moving fast, you're going to get yourself in some trouble. More of that survival game, simulation style. You get it in Lethal Zone, and you get it in the early life of this game with the spawns. Just BS. You just get randomly surrounded, especially when they used to spawn in houses. When it comes to the engine, I've talked about how, like, it'd be cool if they, with all the new money they have coming in, if they would develop an in-house engine, and that would be their new, like, creation engine, like Bethesda has. But they've already confirmed that's not happening. I think it's going to be on Unreal 5, yeah, because that's where which is the latest Unreal Engine. Though I think 6 is already, like, talked about coming out. Anyway, that they need people who have in-depth knowledge of the Unreal Engine 5. They're making hires.
Hola, amigo. Mi casa es su casa.
So it reminds me of Swan Song because there's sort of this eclectic group of
I appreciate that.
hodgepodge people who all contribute a little bit, and they all, like, have different information from different parts of the United States and contribute in different ways. And they start to hear, like, oh yeah, the president's still around in the Cheyenne Mountains, and I'm bringing this from Cobblesburg. We know how to still grow corn. And where I'm getting at with that is there's the Marshall stories. We should clear that area out. But first we need to find where we have a gardener. We can't... Yeah, wait, was one of these a gardener? That's where we can start our search here.
Good to see you.
Mechanic.
Hello there.
She's the gardener with endurance.
Hello there. Would you join us? Although I'm afraid we don't have room for your friends. You know
I kind of...
Lost River?
Oh my fucking god, that's...
Now I want pancakes.
How does that even happen? She had blood plague that whole time.
Oh, there's more where that came from.
I don't know if she's gonna get back. There's our gardener, which was the goal of this episode. So all this stuff is going to get back that whatever you did in Heartland was actually significant. Fuck. I can't check her in, but she's not with me. So let's try, and her name's Hook. I mean, this is... Okay. Let me save and quit. I'll pause recording. We'll see if it works. Okay, let's see if it worked. We got the mission list up now again, too. Base. Let's see if she automatically showed up.
If I don't get treatment, I'm
She
afraid I
did.
won't be
All right,
able to
good.
see anyone.
So the way that you can save and quit, by the way, in case you're wondering. I know, sorry, I'm still messing with the mage well just a bit here. I noticed how bad it washes out the image, so it's like, kind of can't win for trying. I need to switch people. The way you save and quit is you just go to multiplayer, and you tab that over. See, it saves in the top right-hand corner. So you can always force a save in this game if you want, which is nice. Now, what did we have like nothing of? Oh, facility mods. This is the new one. These chemicals transform blood plague into a powerful fertilizer, which drastically increases food or meds production. And this mod is installed in a garden farm or hydroponics facility. Invented by Tressie Herda, an agricultural scientist from Tumble Valley. And then I'm going to try to switch to Hook, which I think you can do when they're checked in. I'm pretty sure you can. No, you can't. Okay, that's fine, though. That's fine. I'll just go back to base and switch characters there. Because we're close. We have the survivor in need, but I'm sure they can wait. Speaking of, let's see what we got here. Oh, fuck. Traumatic flashbacks. She had a gorgeous backyard and she was an amateur boxer, which I think it'll probably affect her hero bonus. Sometimes it's a plus and other times it just gives them some like weird quirk skill. We could actually drop that jug if we wanted to. We still need to try to stealth kill a juggernaut before this playthrough is over. What I'm seriously debating is whether or not in this playthrough we'll check out all the different while I'm here, even though I'm not really equipped for any kind of trouble. But we do want to continue the looting goal while we're at things. There we go.
Better take care of it.
Strike. She's got to be getting close, right? Come on. Go ahead and max out that close combat so we can start getting the forward strike.
There's nothing here. Sounds like company's on the way.
That's always good. All right, sweet. That's another thing down. That means... Oh, yeah. Look at that. We made that noise, and immediately there was a juggernaut, a feral, bloater horde, probably. Ah, damn. He was so busy screaming, I was sure we were going to get him with the Mad Norma. He's going to follow us all the way to base. Now, will he be killed by the Haven device? Yeah, some looting. So we got our gardener. Let's go ahead and stop there for now.